Welcome to the Narrowboat that James built. Hope you're well. Thanks for joining me. Last time I was installing the flue and I can't really go any further because obviously I need to have the ceiling in place because there needs to be a hole in the ceiling for the flue to go into. So I'm going to get round to that in the next couple of days or so. But before I do that, I've also got to put on some protective bits on the ceiling. One of the bits I've got here is covered in coffee. This is, well, obviously you can see what that is, but that is only, I think, 35 wide. I need something much bigger than that to protect the ceiling. Obviously it's timber because it's combustible. So what I was thinking is having a sheet of copper on there and a sheet of copper down there, because you can get a nice finish on copper. But if anyone's got any suggestions as to why I probably shouldn't do that, then let me know. But I think it's got quite good heat resistance. It can deal with heat, but it will look better than aluminium or steel, certainly. I've seen quite a few boats with aluminium plating on it. It just looks a bit, well, it's not really the look I'm going for. And I've seen lots of boats with timber, which clearly wouldn't be suitable either. But then on the flip side, I've seen them dismantle the timber ones and them be quite fine. It's not exactly covered in charred wood. So I don't know, maybe I'm just being a bit overkill, but any comments or suggestions would be very welcome. So yeah, I'm going to kind of leave that alone for the time being until I'll come back to that in a couple of days. I really want to show you the stern because the layout of it, I know I've had a couple of people say with a few suggestions, but many of you said, look, just let us see it. So I'll show you that. And I don't really want to have anything with a folding door and anything like that. That's gonna be a bit annoying, I think. So really it's a case of it opens out at 90 degrees or flush. But anyway, I'll let you see that. So this is what I mean by the stern deck area. So we're going to have a locker kind of at this level here because there's a gap in the floor there. Or we could extend the floor out. I don't really know, basically. But the doors open outwards like that. So if it went out at kind of 90 degrees, that's where it would be. The steps are here coming up onto the deck. They can't be anywhere else. That means then a little one could easily fall off down there, which I don't quite like. If this was all the way back though, which would let more light into the cabin, but would therefore mean that this area there would need to be kind of kept free. This could be boxed in. So that could open into a box. So there could be a level that comes out here, straight down, and that kind of just falls in behind it. I think that still kind of will eclipse all the light going into the cabin. And if it was to here, then I guess you'd have lockers, or a locker and a seat or something like that, occupying that space. Because then the only other thing you could do is cut the doors in half, weld the bottom bit and have the stairs going in. But I don't really want to do it like that because then you have to walk in backwards, and I quite like this because you can just walk in normally. And then the other thing to bear in mind is that the kind of the frame that the engine sits in or sits under is, you know, I can't do anything about that. So this is the gap I've got for the stairs. It's kind of on the wonk. It's kind of halfway through the door. So you're always going to have to kind of go like this and then up the stairs. I can't do anything about that. Well, I've got an ever so typical New Year's Eve. I'm going to spend it applying black bitumen to the hull using this fat brush here. I'm going to put in some of these flexible pipes underneath where the T and the elbow is going into the bathroom. I'm going to restring my guitar, and I'm going to drink this homemade sloe gin made by my mate Steve. So that's it, that's my plan for this evening. And if I'm lucky and I have a bit of extra time, I will apply a second coat of red oxide to the lid of the gas locker. Well, I, like a lot of people around the world, are spending New Year's Eve doing something pretty different this year. I'm blacking the boat, but I've made it as enjoyable for myself as I possibly can by embracing two of my most favourite things: sloe gin and snow patrol. Sloe gin, if you haven't had it, you should. The berries grow on the, so I've already had half a bottle. The berries grow on the blackthorn bush, which grow in abundance along towpaths, along canals up and down the country. So I guess a lot of narrowboaters have had a tipple of this. And then you put it in a big glass jar or something for a year, half a year, a few months or whatever, but the berries come out in September time. Harvest them around November, keep them for a month, and you come out with this, and it's just delicious. Just made with gin, sloe breeze and sugar. What's not to enjoy? So, and this year's batch that my mate Steve made is just brilliant. This is so tasty. So yeah, that and Snow Patrol, I'm happy. And whilst I carry on with this, I've got the narrowboat that James built New Year's Honours list, which is basically a list of thank yous that I've got for people that have supported me, but also supported the channel, just with your comments and your feedback and your enthusiasm and your just general good vibes and thoughts for what I'm doing. It really means a lot. It's really kept me motivated during the times where you're getting setbacks every 5 minutes for doing something like this. So thank you guys. As I said, just your involvement in the channel, your involvement in what I'm doing really does mean a lot. So thank you. And Happy New Year. I'd really like to thank anyone who's watched, subscribed, liked, shared any of the videos, but the New Year's Honours list recognises those who have commented the most from the last few months. And in no particular order, thank you: Hattie Barble, Gary Costello, Jennifer Burke, Baba Fudpucker, Ron Webster, PJ, Claire, Howard Twig, Betty Swallocks, Narrowboat, Precious Jet, Paul Oxo, Ian and Esther, thank you guys, Jasper, David Gardner, Paul Bush, The Beery Boater, Ms. Vanorak, Mark Bond, Sue Cox, Midwest Concert, Mark Kasprak, Have Motorhome Will Travel, C. Smith, Randoneur, Simon Jenkins, Relaxing Soothing Music, Martin Worrell, Tarn Carr, Judith Mallinson, Matthew Cook, Jimbo Treble 8, Turbo Stream, David Pinner, Rob Moss, Mark Bond, Gary Broadbent, Lee B, Classroom Stuff, Big, Sheila Weston, Music Tube, Ro Tinkerbell, H. Claire Mark, and Chris on the Boat, Sean Adams, Squat Master, Kev Cromer, Narrowboat Will, Trevor Nelms, Norm McRae, David Pratt, Alex Lifeson, DAE in Denmark, BC, Ed de Gooner, Dave Colson, Glenn Drury, Christine Gibbon, Alan Stanley, Anthony White, Jan Harris, Jeff Collins, Stephanie Wilson, Ralph Home, Pauline Grace, Stephen Ward, Spectrum is Green, Cole H, Andy Jenkins, Sir Teabag, Fleetwood J, Shane Green, Chevy Imp, Ian Ray, Sean Calvary, Geodam, Stephen Cook, Steve Roper, JB Zoom, Ben Matthews, Luann Tebby from Texas, Project Narrowboat, hi Johnny, Dave Cook, Chris Copping, Torbay Timber, John Neal, Gilly Wild, Richard Holmwood, Aussie Chick on a Boat, Ruth Scott, Martin Lund, Steve, Lawrence, Tiny Living, Michael Burns, St Albans Tech, Alex Hill, James Blaise, Christine Gibbons, Kit Owl, Linda, Bob White, John B, Rob G, The Declining Dentist, Tony Wrigglesworth, Fiddling with My Whistle, Qbot, Christine and Peter Dell. This is a bit of a unexpected surprise. I didn't think I'd be able to get this done tonight. At the start of the year, I did not think this is how I'd be ending the year. I'm not complaining at all. I guess if I was with someone else, or anyone else tonight, you'd be asking the question, what's been the highlight of your year? Or something like that. And for me, I've got to say, it's a tricky one between having the narrowboat. It's definitely narrowboat related. It's either narrowboat or YouTube, if I'm honest. I've really enjoyed doing the boat. And I think I've enjoyed it mostly because of this channel and you guys, and I don't know, having someone to do it for other than just myself. I didn't think that would happen. And as I've got no one else to share tonight with, I'll be interested to hear in the comments what you guys have achieved this year, or what your greatest thing is. I mean, it's been such an odd year, blimey, just getting through it's an achievement. There's so many other people to thank that obviously didn't make the New Year's Honours list.
Mum and Dad.
But, or my mate Will, he came to see the boat for the first time with me the day I bought the boat. And he's been there throughout. I kind of run everything by him. Obviously I don't really see him much, but he claims ignorance and everything, but he knows his onions, so it's good to run things by him. The guys here at the wharf, the spirit here is just brilliant. There's so much enthusiasm for people trying to, you know, do stuff on boats and enjoy the waterways. It's great, and there's so much experience and knowledge here. It's just brilliant, and the spirit of the place is just great. I'm really going to miss it when I go. I'm sure I'll be back at some stage, but yeah, I am going to miss it. But John and Jez, and Paul and Mike, it's just, yeah, they're brilliant. They've helped out so much throughout my project, continue to do so. Even John today was getting involved, and it's just brilliant. And you know, other people on the wharf, so there's Nick, Matt, Jay, other people. It's just, yeah, it's just great. They've just helped out so much over the time I've been doing this. And then back home, obviously my mates Steve and Diane, and Mel and Leo. So many people have helped this year. George and Sid. They've all helped to get me where I am now, which I do feel like a narrowboater. Right, I'll leave that for a bit. And I'll leave you until next year. Take care of yourselves. Hope you're well. Bye bye.